If you already own a Shogun, I'd suggest you click away now, because you are probably not going to hear much praise for it here. But if you are just curious, or you are considering buying one, congratulations, you have got some drama to enjoy. So what is Shogun? The Shogun is Noble Audio's IEM inspired by Japanese shogunate area, themed around Tokugawa Gusoku armor, silver and red fans, petals. You can really feel the Japanese elements here on faceplate. Also paired with a katana plug. Honestly, visually it's absolutely stunning. Both the design language and the build quality is top tier. About driver configuration, it's a quad breed with 13 drivers. Yes, 13. 1 DD, 6 BA, 4 EST, and 2 BC. The configuration is impressive, but the design is cursed. Fitting this many drivers inside means the shell won't be small, and with that size comes a problem: questionable rear comfort. It's not just long, but also thick. And there's also a bump here that presses directly against my anti-helix. No matter how I adjust it, it's just uncomfortable. And on 5128's ear, it's even stretching the lower crotch of anti-helix outward. First impression, very bass head. Bass quantity is massive, and the overall tonality leans dark. I'd say the bass makes up about 2/3 of the whole presentation. The quantity is just huge, and if you look at the graph, you'll see why. The overall bass gain is actually higher than the JM1 with 8 dB boost. Aside from the sub-bass, the bass gain even exceeds Harman. That explains why it sounds so overwhelmingly basic. Actually, quantity itself isn't necessarily the problem. The real problem is the quality. The sub-bass extension is just average, and the slam isn't particularly strong. Combine them with the sheer amount of bass, and you get this sense of congestion, like the bass is piling up, bleeding into the mids and treble. There's a bit of aggressiveness to it, and not in a good way. The vocals are actually pretty nice, very neutral, neither warm or cold. Its biggest strength is the smoothness. No sibilance, no grand, nothing harsh in the upper mids, just smooth. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a problem of aggressiveness, and it's tied directly to the bass, around 200 Hz. The gain is just too high, and then there's the absence of the 3000 Hz peak, which you'll normally see. It's basically a flat line across that region. If you lack gain between 2000 Hz and 4000 Hz, vocal clarity and overall transparency take a hit. And that's exactly what happens here. Vocals often feel like they are missing a breath. For example, in Mary Jane's All Night Long, it's like Jane never quite takes that full breath. Or in Beethoven's Piano Sonata No. 14, the piano sounds noticeably darker than it should. So in short, the Shogun's overall sound has a slightly muffled character. On curve, the treble gain doesn't look bad, almost on par with Harman. But in practice, it rolls off surprisingly fast. The energy feels weak, and it often gets overshadowed by the dominant bass, making it a very bass-biased set. Now the soundstage, at first listen, is actually pretty impressive, wide and grand, with that epic sing vibe. The horizontal spread is great, instruments can sit far left and right with good separation, but the depths, quite constrained. It's like the sound is largely confined to a flat surface. While not that extreme, but depth spread is indeed minimal. Part of this has to do with that 5000 Hz dip I mentioned earlier. It lowers the upper mid and treble energy, leaving the stage feeling empty. When the instruments lack treble extension and energy, the whole presentation collapsed inward, creating a slightly congested, even oppressive feel. At the beginning, I was thinking, was it because my device can't properly drive the drivers inside? But I found this wasn't an output power issue, because on my desktop system, it sounds exactly the same. So it's not about not enough juice to drive the drivers. It just sounds like that. Overall, I honestly can't recommend this Shogun. Yes, it's a very expensive IEM. But I think sometimes we really need to put price aside and ask ourselves, does the sound truly justify the price tag? Don't let the consumerism blunt you into thinking that a 3,000 price tag automatically equals 3,000 level performance.
Fucking consumerism wins the day again.
If you are a Shogun owner, then my apologies. I genuinely mean no offense, but I'd rather speak honestly than play nice with the manufacturer. And once again, huge thanks to Miss Lee for lending me the Shogun. If this review ends up making it unsellable, well, I'll commit harakiri.